Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're wondering where I'm walking from the Engineering East building of my school. And I'm walking from there because I just participated in a competition. And guys, look at my skin. It looks like I'm wearing like a foundation, but I'm really not. I just have oily skin. And I'm wearing like a little blush, but that's really it. But that's not the point. The point is, I did not win that competition. And while I really hope the audio isn't bad, but while I could give you 10,000 excuses as to why I did not win that competition, I first want to highlight what I've learned from it. And the main things that I've learned was that working in a team is a skill in itself. As somebody who's like loner, introverted kind of, you have to be able to navigate working with other people and their personalities and their skill sets, and you have to be able to merge them and kind of like synergize them, right? So that you can have an effective outcome of whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. It's kind of windy, so I'm just gonna wait. I really hope the wind isn't bad. Wait, let me check. Okay, so it's not that bad. But anyway, as I was saying, yeah, being in a team is a skill in itself. And I know that's like duh, but I do feel like someone, even if you are an intelligent individual or someone who can pick up any role on a team or just be a valuable asset to a team, if your team has no real leader, you're gonna have to learn how to be that leader. And not leader as in like do everything. Because when you're on a real team, you can't do everything. That's the purpose of the team. But at the same time, you have to, it's not as easy as having like a couple of robots and just code them like what to do to work together. People have their own ideas. They have their own ways of communicating. In the real world, you'll have people who don't speak your language. You'll have language barriers. You have scheduling barriers. Like maybe someone's free on Wednesday, but the other person isn't, or something like that. So you have to be able to navigate all of those factors and find the best way for your team to work effectively. And that is a really big skill. That is a really good skill. And I'm not gonna lie, I used to think that I could get by just being like smart and being able to do a lot of things successfully. But I realized that when I'm in a team, the only way I'll be valuable in that team is if I take up every role. And sometimes that's just not feasible. And it's also not fair to me to have other members and do everything. And let's say I wanted to do everything and I could do everything. People believe that they're capable as well. So they'll get in the way. They'll halt your progress, or they'll find ways to basically, in general, find ways to stop you. Not stop you in a malicious way, but just force you to pause because they are your teammates, and you have to be respectful and you have to consider what they're trying to say and their inputs. But sometimes that means withholding a project that could very much be a winning project. And I'm not saying that like I had it all figured out, because I didn't. I came into the group thinking I was going to be the least valuable since I joined the competition out of my teacher recommended we do this competition. If we did it, we'd get extra credit. And I didn't need the extra credit in the class, but I took the opportunity anyway because it's the semester's closing and I want to have at least done something within my freshman year. But so when I went into this, I went into it knowing that it's in the field that I don't really have expertise in, biomedical and engineering. I'm a computer scientist. I know how computers work and I know how to make softwares, but I don't know so clearly the data engineering part of it, and especially not the medical part of it. So when put in this team, I thought that I was going to be the bottleneck, and I was so ready to take up any role that they may have needed so that we could have been the most successful. But I realized that I was not that bottleneck, and I will admit I did not know how to navigate this situation. I tried explaining, I tried showing through visualization, I tried using facts and proof. I tried everything, but some people and some situations are just really, really hard to disband, break down, diffuse, whatever word best fits that situation, I guess. But in the end of it all, it's always a learning process. And within everything you do, you have to realize you're just living life, and that if you're going to do something, give it your all. Even if you know you're going to fail, even if you feel like it may be pointless, just give it your all, because there's always something to learn from it and something to build from it. And I think that's why I'm not really truly upset about our loss today, because I understood it from the very beginning. I understood what was going to happen. While I could have fixed it, it required me to be a kind of person I didn't want to be. And maybe there are other ways to go about it. And if you see the signs early on, please address it early on. And maybe be more stern or more clear. Maybe that's what I should have done. But I know that I can't drown in the excuses. I can't overthink the situation with excuses. I have to realize that what happened, and the output represented the inputs. And next time I just have to do better if I want to do better. So I just want you guys all to know that even when you do feel like you know everything, and I mean feel like, because you never will know everything, or you're in a better position or of authority or anything of that nature, and your teammates don't recognize that, or they recognize themselves to be higher than you, and because of that they don't let you proceed with your ideas, or they just bottleneck you. They let you have to what you want to do, but as a team member they essentially force you to attach yourself to them, and therefore having I wouldn't even say a lesser, I would just say a bottleneck, because the situation I'm referring to, it's not even like the person was speaking nonsense. They just were not very good a communicator, and not just to me, to the rest of the team. I had two members who are very bot-like. You just tell them exactly what to do and then they do it. But without those very explicit, specific instructions, they will be lost, which is okay. At least I can work with those people. But when it comes to people who they just kind of do what they want, and then if it doesn't happen their way, they don't let you proceed. And that's okay, as long as you have reasonable explanation, you have proof, you have facts, work with us. If there's a real weakness, tell us and we'll fix it and we'll improve. But you have to do it in a way where it's time effective and it's cognitively efficient too. Because if you're spending hours just trying to get one point across, there's something wrong. And that's essentially what kept happening. And thus we wasted a lot of time that we could have spent working on the project itself. Our competitors completely ruined us. They had full functioning projects. They had literal apps on the phone. And we just had a screenshot of our website. And that wasn't enough for the competition. That was the barest minimum. So I understand why we didn't win. But I also understand that in different circumstances, I could have. And as long as I know that, as long as I know where my weaknesses were, as long as I know where my new improvement points are, as long as I know the signs to recognize when a team isn't really going to go well, as long as I know all of the above now, I won't or have a decreased chance of making the same mistake. And there are infinite mistakes that I could make. So anything helps at this point. Which is why I say the takeaway for this video is to, whatever you do it with your own. Because you can always take something, you can always learn something from any situation, even if you may not be too successful. But anyway, that's it for now. Goodbye.